Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. It's the first Thursday of the month, which means we're in the kitchen with Across the Fence. To show us 14 tasty recipes, all made with locally grown produce, are Carolyn Peak from Williamstown, along with Deb Plumley and Lynn Jarvis from South Hero. First, let's get to the winner of last month's free drawing for the 214-page cookbook, The Cooks of Hackett's Orchard. Congratulations to Elizabeth Wood from Essex Junction. Elizabeth, thanks for making Across the Fence part of your day. You'll be receiving the cookbook by mail soon. And as always, we want to take a moment to recognize some of our loyal viewers. This month's list includes Diane Benware from Johnson, Sylvia Coffin down in Bristol, Marjorie Day from St. Albans, who says she's collected our recipes for many years and organizes them in a 3-ring binder. From Shelburne, Lois Lynch, who appeared on Across the Fence more than 50 years ago as a member of the TNT 4-H Club. Lucille Leduc is a loyal viewer from Swanton, as is Brenda Rossett from across the lake in Plattsburgh. Keep those letters coming. We love to hear from you. For this month's free drawing, one of you lucky viewers will win Cookout USA. The cookbook features grilling favorites from all 50 states. The Vermont recipe is oven-baked barbecue chicken wings, which features, what else? Vermont maple syrup. We thank Carolyn for donating that cookbook, and I'll let you know how you can enter to win it at the end of the program. Deb, we all enjoy cooking with locally produced vegetables, so we'll hand it over to you.
And this is one of my favorite cooking segments.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're
Perfect.
welcome.
And I want to thank my son Dylan for my lovely apron that he brought back from his travel to Peru. So let's jump right into some local recipes. And this is a great healthy meal just to kickstart your summer eating. You're going to want to take 3 pounds of your freshest tomatoes, and that's going to complement this angel hair pasta with a fresh tomato sauce. Now 1 pound of those tomatoes is going to be grated to release the flavors and the juice. And then you're going to chop the other 2 pounds into small pieces. You're going to toss that with some herbs, some seasonings, and let it steep for the flavors to develop. Maybe 20 minutes, it can go as long as 4 hours. It's very flexible. You're going to cook your angel hair pasta, and then you're going to toss everything together. And I wish our viewers could smell how wonderful this is with the fresh tomatoes and the minced garlic. I never minge on garlic in my recipes. And this is also super, I think, topped with a little bit of fresh olive oil, oh yes, and some nice grated Parmesan cheese. Oh, isn't that just a wonderful dish? Now, one thing that always complements pasta is a nice salad. And let's talk a little bit about this super simple cucumber tomato marinated salad. It is simply chopped cucumbers, diced tomatoes, and some red onion that's diced. You toss that together, add a simple dressing, which is red wine vinegar, a little bit of sugar to cut the acidity, some olive oil, salt, pepper, and oregano. I've added some dill. You let the flavors blend. The longer that it sits, the milder the onions will become. So doesn't that look just lovely? Perfect for a summertime meal. Now, I always say, since you've had such a healthy meal, you shouldn't feel guilty about indulging in dessert. And 2 great Vermont flavors are combined in this maple blueberry tea cake. So your usual cake ingredients are enriched with 2/3 of a cup of maple syrup and 1 cup of blueberries. And I'm just going to tilt it up a little. You can see that it is bursting with blueberries. When the cake comes out of the oven, you're going to glaze it while it's still warm with maple syrup, melted butter, and a little bit of confectioner's sugar. And what it does is it kind of seeps into the cake. So I tell you, you close your eyes when you're eating this and you feel like you're eating a blueberry pancake. Yum. So this is the blueberry maple tea cake. Now our last dessert that I'm going to feature is from Carolyn Bourgeois of Virgins, and this is perfect with peach harvest season just around the corner. These are her peach custard bars. You start with a shortbread cookie crust. You're going to add 3 cups of sliced peaches, toss of cinnamon sugar, and you're going to bake this in the oven until the peaches cook a bit and the flavors are released with the juices. And then you're going to top with your custard filling, which is simply evaporated milk, an egg, a little bit of sugar and water, and put that back in the oven and let it bake until everything is set. You can serve this warm or chilled. Because it is a custard, you should keep it refrigerated though if you don't enjoy it all in one sitting. But I can tell you, it looks so good, you're probably all going to demolish it. So that would be my conclusion of my salute to summer with our cooking locally. And I have to say, our own Carolyn Peak is next, and you've got some wonderful looking recipes.
Don't I though?
I know. I can't wait to hear about them.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start off with one that's kind of an old favorite, because it's using the baking mix. And this is Impossibly Easy Blt Pie. And it's just your baking mix. You've got crumbled bacon, you've got cheese, put that in the bottom of your pan, mix up your baking mix, mayonnaise, milk, and pepper, and eggs, and you just stir it all together and put it in the oven and bake it. And then when it's done, you put some sliced tomato and some lettuce on top, and you've got a BLT, kind of inside out. But it's very, very good. My second one is from a lady named Marie Danforth, and she's a member of the Orange County Maple Producers Association. We were at a meeting back in the early spring, just after sugaring, of course, and she brought this, a bacon broccoli salad, and it is good. It's got a lot of broccoli, it's got raisins, it's got cheese, it's got, let's see, what else is in there? Well, anyway, when you get the recipe, you can figure it out too. And you just put it all together, and then you make a very simple coating or dressing that is salad dressing, mayonnaise, vinegar, and sugar. And after I tasted it, I said, Marie, I have got to have that recipe for the show sometime, and this was a perfect time to use it. My next one is favorite beets. Now, you're all used to pickled beets. These are kind of pickled beets, but there's no sugar in it. It's just the vinegar and vegetable oil, and it's beets and onions, and you just put it all into a container and let it sit and get its nice tasting goodness all together. And I just thought, it's really easy to make. You don't have to cook it. You don't have to do, other than cooking the beets, you don't have to do anything except just put it together. I put it into a largemouth canning jar because then I can kind of turn it up and down and shake it a little bit. And it works out very nice. My next recipe, and I'm going to just slide things over here. These are blueberry muffins, and these are from Edie Ackerman of Fairleigh. And it's just a simple, regular blueberry muffin that is stuffed with blueberries. Let me clue you, it's got lots of blueberries. So that makes it really, really good. And it's just your usual recipe, usual mixture of things, but it's just yummy. Now finally, I have a cherry raspberry chocolate cobbler. And this is a mixture of a can of cherry pie filling, some raspberries, and then you make a chocolate biscuit for it with, believe it or not, melted ice cream and chocolate chips that are melted together. And then you have the Bisquick again, the baking mix again, and you mix that together and put it on top, and you bake it, and it just is so good.
You know, you look like a ray of sunshine this afternoon.
Oh, well.
But that looks super.
I know, and you know what? I'm going to find out just how good it is.
Good for you. Well, thank you very much, Carolyn. And I do enjoy cooking this time of year because we get to use all this locally grown produce. Now, the first recipe I'm going to show you uses locally grown carrots and potatoes. And here it is, it's my chicken stuffing casserole. So along with the potatoes and the carrots, included is some cut up chicken, cornbread stuffing, cream of chicken soup, cream of celery soup, and chicken broth. Now it's layered, starting with the stuffing, then the chicken goes over that, then everything else goes on top. And you bake it for about 45 minutes at 350, and I'm going to put some out so you can see what a good looking meal this is. It's quite a large serving so that you can have your family over, and we're going to enjoy this just as soon as the show is over, and we wish all you viewers here to sample along with us. Now, to go with this, I've made a bread, and it's one of my favorite. It's my honey nut oatmeal bread. Now it uses yeast, so it's a little bit harder to make, but it's well worth the effort. And what makes this so good is that you add in rolled oats, maple sugar, honey, butter, and cinnamon, and you let the dough rise twice, and then you add the walnuts, and it makes 2 loaves so you can share with family and friends. Now I'm going to take a loaf of this up to the ladies at the South Hero Town Clerk's office because they're the ones that help me print up all these recipes that we send out to you viewers every month, and I know they are going to enjoy this loaf of bread. Now, you regular viewers know I'm quite a fan of sweet cherries, and this is the time of year to cook with them because they're plentiful and quite inexpensive. And this is my sweet cherry cobbler. So after you get all the cherries pitted, and that is the hardest part of this recipe, I have to tell you that every time I make this, there's a couple of pits left in the cobbler, and I sure do hear about that, but enough about that. So to make this, you mix the cherries with sugar, lemon zest, almond extract, and cinnamon, and then you let this mixture just sit for about 30 minutes so the flavors mix and match and blend all those nice sweet flavors together. In the meantime, you make the topping, and that batter is a little bit difficult to make, and it's a little bit different because you put the batter in the bottom of the pan and the cherries over the top, and that batter, as you can see, works its way up through the cherries while it's cooking. A wonderful flavor. This would be great for a family get-together. It also keeps well in the fridge if you have leftovers, and I really like it, and I hope you'll give it a try. Now, I have a couple of recipes. They're antique recipes that go back to the late 1970s and early 80s. And they came from a newspaper clipping that I had filed away, and there were no dates on them. So I suggest when you cook or save recipes, put a little date or something on the recipe so you'll know exactly when you got it and where it came from. Now, the lady to the left is Aileen Coffey. She was our extension nutritionist when I started producing Across the Fence back in 1975, and she wrote Praise Be for blueberries. And I've used her recipe for lemon blueberry chiffon pie, and to the right you see a recipe stained from much use for blushing peach pie. Both are made with just 5 ingredients, so they're fairly easy to make. Now let's start with this recipe from Aileen Coffey for her lemon blueberry chiffon pie. It is really wonderful. Just 5 ingredients, and let me lift this up so you can see it. They're all folded into the pie crust, and it's lemon jello, sugar, lemon juice, evaporated milk, and blueberries. A wonderful pie. And this last one is this blushing peach pie. So along with the peaches, all you need is sugar, flour, butter, nutmeg, and those are things that you have right in your house. And Judy, it's always fun to look for these old recipes in your collection. Do you want to start with the blueberry or the peach?
I think I might start with the blueberry, but if those are antique recipes, I guess you could say I'm an antique host. Just saying.
All right.
Well, as always, we have a couple of different ways that you can get today's recipes. You can go online to the Across the Fence website, go to uvm.edu/extension, and click on the link to Across the Fence. You'll find the recipes on the left-hand side of the web page, including our recipe archive. To get the recipes by mail, send $2 in a stamped self-addressed business-size envelope to Locally Grown, Box 188, South Hero, Vermont 05486. Please remember to include $2 in a stamped self-addressed envelope to the address on your screen. Your envelope will be used in the free drawing for the Cookout USA cookbook. If you aren't ordering today, you can still use the address to be part of our drawing. To enter, just send along your name and address. Good luck to all of you. And thanks to our chefs Deb, Carolyn, and Lynn. They'll be back on September 6th with some of their favorite potluck recipes. In the meantime, thanks for watching. I'm Judy Simpson. We'll see you again next time on Across the Fence.